Welcome to Blynd Submyshynz, where DIY bands submit songs for us to listen to and react to blind. Every week, we'll bring a guest from the underground music, arts, or entertainment scene to help you sort through mountains of new music. We go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
Blynd Submyshynz!
What's up, JD? Vacation boy.
What's up, Jeff?
Welcome to today's episode of
Blynd Submyshynz. Or is this an episode of Let's Talk About Jeff's Guitar Part 2?
Oh, it might be. I almost attempted Pete's Blynd Submyshynz, but I just can't do it.
Blynd Submyshynz!
There you go. Whoa, ow, oh, ow.
JD sang, didn't learn mic distance control technique. You got to get that Christina Aguilera. You got to back off the mic when you go.
We don't have mic control in hardcore.
It's probably true. Don't they shove the mic down?
Swallow that thing.
Down your throat. Ugh. All right, yeah, so we will cut to the chase. Hey, thanks all new listeners and all longtime listeners.
Yes.
Find us on all the podcast platforms. Find us on YouTube.
1 year in.
1 year in. Got some birthday whiskey.
Birthday whiskey.
It was my birthday
Jeff's
a couple days ago. But what we have for you today is Guitar Worship Part 2. So when I busted this guitar out when Elephant Tree and Broom were on.
Yes.
Because I just got it.
2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago. But now, today, we actually have the builders of this guitar. Both of them. Yeah. So Jay from JML Guitars and his partner, and Thomas, and then
some other guy that makes guitars.
And then some other guy that makes guitars whose name is, let's see.
Like on the top.
On the headstock. I don't know if you can see that.
Dunable?
No, his name is
Dunable.
Sacha Dunable. So let's go ahead and
I'm totally just fucking with
admit
everybody.
them. I'm just showing to the camera. Can you see? I'm just showing the headstock to the camera as we pronounce your name. So welcome all three of you, Jay, Thomas, and Sacha. How's everybody doing?
Great.
This is an unusual recording time for us. We don't usually record at night this late. So, and especially late for our JML friends over there, 3 hours behind us.
Oh, geez. It's 11:05.
Time.
How's everybody doing? How are you doing, Sacha?
Good.
Busy man.
Yeah. Yeah, good, man. Just chilling. And a long day,
Long day of guitaring and
Long weekend.
Are you in the shop on the weekends, or what's a typical week?
Not normally. I actually moved this last week, so I missed a couple days of work. So I had to go back in today and do some stuff because my boss will yell at me if I don't get
Yeah. I heard your boss is a real asshole.
He's kind of a dickhead.
He
Yeah.
really just drives you into the ground. Moved. I'm assuming you moved houses, not.
Yeah. I moved
offices,
my home. Yeah, we're actually. Yeah, we just are barely almost unpacked. So I'm in like a big empty.
Yeah, I see.
room.
I would imagine your house will probably have art on the wall at some point, show posters or whatnot. It's looking kind of blank right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, getting there.
And then bins that you never unpack.
Oh, Jesus.
Bins that end up in the garage that you never touch again.
All right, so this is sad but also happy. So we had someone in our family pass away this week, and so part of my weekend has been dedicated to helping out, clean out a garage and a house. He was older and not well, so it was not a surprise to anyone, but still a bummer. But man, he gave a gift to his children, which was he was not a pack rat. All of his shit was organized. He didn't have very much stuff. All his paperwork was super organized. And you don't think about that as you get older. I mean, I'm old enough to start thinking about that kind of shit. I was like,
not that old.
I'm like, that's a good lesson for me. Save my kids a lot of grief by having everything organized so that it's not a huge thing to literally and figuratively to unpack when I'm not here. And he was a music lover who left behind a Pioneer, a sweet Pioneer receiver from the mid-set, walnut encased Pioneer receiver, a Sansui reel-to-reel, a really nice set of Klipsch speakers from the 70s, and my brother-in-law, his son, didn't want any of it, so I inherited the whole thing. So I've got a whole like vintage 70s setup in my living room right now that I was messing around with all afternoon.
Hell yeah. Nice.
So thanks, Big Pete. Thanks, Pop, for the I'll keep listening to your records.
Exactly.
So I guess maybe we can just get right down to the collaboration. I'm curious here. We talked to Jay and Thomas already a bit, but how did this sort of come up, and what caused you guys to embark on this? Let's build 8 wild, super custom guitars together.
Man, how did it first come up?
Yeah, how did you guys even meet?
Just on the internet.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's how we all meet these days. It's like not even weird anymore. It's just normal.
I like your guitars. Cool. I like yours too. You want to build something together? Sure.
I mean, it probably was literally that, I think. Right? I mean, I don't remember the exact conversation, but yeah, it just came up kind of like that, I think. I think we have a lot of mutual friends and stuff too, so it was kind of easy. It just sort of made sense, you know? You sort of say these things sometimes like in passing or whatever, just sort of casually, and it's like, actually, why don't we just do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
You know? Yeah.
I'm curious because I know, when we talked to Jay, he's like a trained artist and woodworker, and the like carving and shaping is a lot of, what's interesting. You've copied other, maybe we shouldn't say this out loud because you keep getting in trouble for it, but you have copied similar body styles before. How was the process of working with Sacha's shapes? Did you just give him templates, or did you give him like blanks that were cut out, or how did it work
yeah. No, I sent, we have like old MDF templates that we used to use. I mean, up until a year ago, we didn't have a CNC or anything, so we would just use like a MDF template stuck to some wood, and so I just sent those out to Jay, which I think he still has. I got to get those back.
I do. I will send them.
That's my IP, bro.
That's funny.
So everything should be pretty much. I mean, I think it is pretty spot on from the shapes that we do.
From the templates.
Yeah,
and if you're just listening to the audio right now, I'm throwing up pictures of all the guitars. Well, 7 of the 8, because one of them is right here, and you don't have to look at a picture of it. I'll just flip through them as you guys talk. What was maybe for Jay? What was the most interesting part of doing this?
I've always really loved Sacha's shapes, so yeah, it was just fun to get to do them. Really, kind of add our own little touch to it.
Were you happy to not have to wire them all up and everything for once?
Yes.
To just send off no electronics?
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, I know you mentioned before that's not necessarily your favorite part.
Not your favorite part?
No.
How do you feel about electronics, Sacha?
I think he likes them.
Yeah?
For the most part, yeah. If it's the stuff that we do all the time, I think the stuff that drives me crazy is when people start asking for weird
one-off.
Like kill
mods
switches.
And
No.
red kill switches are really just the absolute worst. No.
Look,
but,
I've seen those kill switches on plenty of other guitars. Maybe for people more famous than me, but whatever.
No, that's an easy mod. To be honest, it's when people ask for things like, for some reason, and this is embarrassing, but like I've never really done anything with like 5-way switches, like blade switches or rotaries. So whenever anybody throws anything like that at me, it's like, it's Google time,
Yeah.
Basically, anytime you build something for Jeff Matz, it's like electronics hell.
And there's like no corner of the instrument or the electronics or the amplification that he doesn't know more about than anyone else.
Yeah.
And so you kind of just want to go fucking do it yourself, man.
Yeah. It's embarrassing every time I have to like do anything for him, really.
Yeah, except he's like the nicest human being maybe that ever lived, so he doesn't actually make you feel bad. You do that yourself.
Yeah.
And you've both made guitars for Jeff. Did Jeff get one of these collab guitars as well?
No.
Okay, but he has guitars from each of you, just not one from both of you.
From Jay, he just has that electric Baglama or however you say it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're making him an 8-string bass right now.
Oh, really? Oh,
Nice.
fun.
Yeah, it
Fun
should be
because-
done pretty soon, really.
Is it? Have you been throwing pictures of that one up? Which one? What does it look like?
It's been a while. Well, I think I did one little video of it a couple months back, but it's been kind of sitting on the back burner.
Yeah, and I think that's something that both of you guys do really well. Is like take good pictures and are super active posting stuff, posting on your stories, and just making sure that even every few hours it seems like there's something new to look at. It's definitely, I think, probably helped a lot.
Yeah, it's a big part of our business for sure.
Yeah, it's like what you have to do, really. I mean,
Yeah. God, these are all so cool. This flying V I wanted so bad, but like I have no business playing a flying V.
dude, I wanted that thing too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing it's really, really something else. That thing
And
is
this one
sick.
sold. This one sold already, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I think that was like
the first
yeah,
one.
It might have been the first one. Well, no, yours, Jeff, I think was the first one.
I was the first. I snuck in the back door, which was not
Yeah.
nice, but whatever. Never hurts to ask. That's my philosophy.
It
Exactly.
worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this thing is gorgeous. And then fucking Northerner, like their reverb shop, you can't download the pictures. This one sold already, so all I could find was this like super low res, like all I could find in the 5 minutes before I started my equipment this evening. But
So I'm not the knowledgeable one on this. But I know, Jay, like you're known for your neck throughs.
Mm-hmm.
Sacha, is this the first time you've done neck throughs, or do you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
we normally do set neck. I mean, I think like when I first started kind of like building, I tried, I think I did a couple neck throughs early on, but just, I don't know. It was just, I liked doing set necks or bolt-on basses. It was just easier for me. I don't know.
yeah, it's
Just
a whole
with the equipment I had at the time and
Mm-hmm.
everything, it just kind of made more sense.
it's a whole different animal, and they're so much harder to produce in any kind of volume.
They sound different too, right? From my understanding, or no?
I think that you get a special kind of sustain out of them, and I also think you get a lot more color in the, like my bass dead dry through my amp has so many harmonics. I can hear so many different frequencies compared to all the bolt-ons, but that could all just be fucking mystery and not real. Just like everyone who claims the paint color makes a difference, and you just go, really?
I think it does, especially on bass.
Yeah.
And it comes down to the woods that you're using more than the neck through. I've played set necks that sound just the same,
Yeah, and it's even like the piece of that particular wood that has an effect too, I mean, and just I don't know, there's so many factors that I think,
Yeah, how can you even begin to control it, especially when you're like laminating 11-piece necks with 5 different kinds of wood, and it's just like we'll see how it comes out.
There's a little bit of science to it, but
yeah,
you're right to a certain extent. Yeah, you just gotta try it.
Well, and I always wanted like a nerdy jazz cool guy bass, like I wanted an alembic or but it's like that's not what I played, and it always felt weird from the front, at least, to play one of those in a rock or metal band seemed kind of goofy. I don't know. Someday maybe I'll just buy one and say fuck it. Like there was an alembic Stanley Clark at Guitar Showcase, which is like our local shop that everybody goes to, for like 25 years in a case, and I probably looked at it 300 times and went, ooh, I'd really like that, and never ever pulled the trigger. Someday
Yeah,
maybe.
how much was it?
Oh shit, it was like $15,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was expensive.
Oh, it's actually called alembic.
Alembic, yeah.
I thought you meant alembic.
No. Not the nerdy bass equipment guy.
I'm the comedic relief this
No.
episode.
You sang in a hardcore band. His mic technique is he doesn't know when to back away from the mic. He wants to eat it all the time.
I'm right up on it.
Yeah, no. Someday I have a friend, Curtis Parker, who's in a band called was one of the Witches. He's gonna kill me now. Up in Seattle, Witch Ripper, and he knows, like, he and I share a love of dorky basses, and so like every 3 or 4 days he'll send me a picture of one that's for sale. It's like, you want to buy it, And the last one was one of the Warwick Dolphins that they make for the guy in Meshuggah. It's like a beautiful all black 5-string Warwick Dolphins, like a dream bass. But I think they're probably $10,000 if they're $1. Like I just, not that I don't buy nice instruments, I certainly have, but there's like a threshold that I haven't crossed yet. Then that instrument's definitely at the threshold where I would have to fall into a pile of money, the different pile of money than I have ever fallen into in order to justify buying that thing, man.
Yeah, when it's the same as like a decent used car, it's kind of too much.
Yeah.
And you can't even drive it to work.
No, really, you can't do much of anything with it except for look like a Meshuggah poser.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you guys, is this like, if I asked a question of you having like a favorite guitar that you have each made, is that like asking you a favorite child? Is it like that type of question?
A little bit, yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Okay, then I won't ask. Never mind.
Well, what I always wonder is like when you can make something so beautiful and that sounds so good, like how do you not end up just taking all? Like, I'll just take that one. Like at some point,
I want to all the time.
You want to. At some point, you have to sell them and let them go. But I wouldn't want to.
I do it sometimes, but yeah, it's like a week later, like, oh well, I probably should just sell this. You know?
Yeah, I guess you can always just put it up in the shop if you take it and play around with it for a while and then decide, actually, no, maybe I don't need this one.
Yeah, lately it's like I haven't really needed, many guitars at all. So yeah, I kind of just will borrow one or something and, put it back.
And it was funny because I wasn't even thinking about buying a guitar or buying one of these, and then you put up, it was a baritone. It was like a blue baritone, kind of like a one-off deal that you put up for sale, I don't know, like 5 months ago or something. And I was like, I kind of want that. It was like 9:30 on the couch, 2 whiskeys in.
That's always the worst
going
time.
like,
That's always the worst time.
I think maybe I need a guitar, and luckily I was smart enough not to pull the trigger. But then it was when I started digging into what Jay was building and going, I'd like to have one. I only have one guitar, one electric guitar. I like to have one good one. I just sold the last one that I used to partially fund this one. And I just thought, well, shit, if I'm going to have one, it might as well be something cool like this that, sort of matches my bass and is an interesting art piece on top of being a killer instrument.
Sure.
Yeah. So I would because I don't know process. So I would love to ask Sacha, you mentioned you sent like the patterns to Jay, and then Jay, you sort of made everything, sent it back to Sacha for the electronics. How does that all work?
They did the finishing too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we kind of just sent them a raw finished guitar basically, and then they kind of did the whole setup and the finishing electronics.
Gotcha. And now it's pretty much the two of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Sacha, how big is Dunable now? How many employees do you have?
At the shop, there's like 6 of us full time, or 6 guys and me full time, and then a couple part timers here and there coming to help. And we have 2 guys up at the store, the showroom up in Echo Park.
All right.
One guy who does repairs and like a manager kind of guy.
Yeah.
Nice. And does everybody kind of have a specialty? Like, is there there's the electronics guy, there's like the net guy, or is it everybody kind of just do a little bit of everything?
Yeah, no, we have Jake runs our CNC, does like all the whatever the hell goes on with that in the computer or whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
Cut stuff, stands it.
all the smart guy stuff. And then Aaron, who's been with me since like 2016, is sort of like the main dude in the wood shop. And then we have a guy, James, who does, he helps out in the wood shop. He does, currently he's doing like the DE, like our import line, like quality check or whatever. And then there's a guy, Eric, who does all the fret work. And then Anthony and Chris, who kind of like co-manage the like assembly and parts and whatnot. And then I'm still doing all the paint. and those guys will help me out here and there with just some of the busy work involved with that. And yeah, then another guy, Matt, who does customer service and shipping and stuff, but he's one of the guys up at the showroom.
At the show.
Nice.
It seems like the DE series went really well. I mean, that was like, there has been this sort of storm brewing in like good guitars for rock and roll, of like discontentment with Fender and Gibson and you know, embarrassment about PRS or whatever. Like, there's been clearly an opportunity for somebody to come in and kind of disrupt, and you had been working at, you know, more of a custom level, but when you launch something like a DE and you can get a Dunable for around $1,000, that sort of changes things up a bit. How did that launch go?
Yeah, it was good, man. I mean, I have a partner in that. That's like sort of a separate business, but I had a guy that I've known for a long time who wanted to get involved, and so we just figured it all out. And those guitars are made at this factory called World Music, which is like where they make like the ESP or like LTD and Schecter, and I think maybe the PRS Korean line is or was made there at some point. I think it's it's probably like its own city or something like that out there. And so we're just kind of just kind of going for it, you know. I think we have a big shipment of them coming tomorrow, but it's cool. Yeah, I think that, like, you know, there's a lot of people out there who don't spend, you know, $2,000, $3,000 or $15,000 on a custom instrument. They just want to buy something that's in stock and just kind of ready to rock, you know. And I thought it would be cool to try out anyway, you know. I'm sort of interested to see like how that process worked, and just like what that kind of, I don't know, what an import version of our guitars would look like. And they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they came out great. I mean, and you know, maybe the internet's generally nice to you, it seems like. Like, I haven't seen a bunch of videos like, ordered this DE pile of shit, like had to take it immediately to get fixed.
And we pay those people off, so.
You do? Okay, good. Delete the video, please.
Could you please take that video down?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's like my worst nightmare, is those videos. That just whole thing that happens these days, you know, is like just hilarious to me. But also, you don't want it to happen. So
no.
Yeah, we're real careful to not let any lemons through, you know. You do what you can. I mean, sometimes they do, but.
So is that like, this is probably an area of YouTube that I've not gotten into?
Oh, Jesus.
Guitar reviews? Is that...
Oh, man.
There's like people who are like out to like destroy. I mean, I'm sure it's in like this with many industries or whatever, but there's people who are like making it their mission to like destroy a guitar company because there's like a little scratch on the nut or something, you know what I mean?
God.
Yeah.
Or worse. I mean, sometimes it's fair, I guess, but it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there are definitely people who just live to get the lemon and just make the video, you know, because it's like, that's the video that's going to get, everyone has an ulterior motive, right? All these MAGA assholes, I don't know that any of them believe any of it, but it gets them views on whatever fucking platform they're trying to make their living off of. And that's how you get a Tucker Carlson. He didn't believe any of that shit. It just made him rich. It made him richer than he was already. And whether it's yelling about guitars or whatever, that's just, I don't know, it's baked into the human brain to just enjoy that kind of like carnage. And like,
right.
Yeah.
It's like watching a car wreck, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You stop and watch. Boy.
I do, because you love pedals so much, though. I do need to send you a couple of good channels that you can go down a pedal demo wormhole.
Yeah.
Oh man.
My God, if we started talking about pedals, he would be asleep in like 35 seconds.
I did have a pedal though. Remember? I got a pedal.
He's gonna have to learn. His daughter started playing bass now. So.
Oh man.
See, step here. It's got all the knobs. It's got a super badass pedal.
He built that for me.
I built it.
I like it.
It's good.
As it turns out, an iPhone box is a perfect platform
the size of a pedal
for making fake pedals. I do like the art, though. I think you might have something
like
there that looks
Yeah.
like an Abominable or one of those boutique brands.
Yes, my daughter did just start playing bass.
Yeah. So and I brought so as an experiment just to see, because I knew it wouldn't be me. I had to buy one of those dark glass overdrive pedals, the sound of every metal bass player now. So I bought an Alpha Omega and I plugged it in and I was like, this is terrible. I hate it. This is not for me ever. But I gave it to Addie. So now you have to figure out how to make that thing not sound like hot garbage.
And you got to start out with shitty pedals.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Well, my first thought was to order her all the Amazon
pedals?
Amazon Basics pedals, but none of them are bass pedals. So I wouldn't do her dirty like that.
Yeah. Good.
Are there really Amazon Basic pedals?
Oh, you don't know about the Amazon $25 Amazon Basics pedals?
Are they really like branded like that? Amazon Basics?
Somebody had to undercut Behringer, so.
Oh man, I'm about to buy them all.
Yeah. Oh, there's probably an
hilarious.
entire YouTube channel dedicated to, with 100,000 subscribers, dedicated to playing the Amazon Basics pedals. Yeah. Apparently they're okay.
Well, Billy uses them.
Oh no, that's right. Billy Anderson's like, I got a whole set of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like, they're not that bad.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I mean, they're all just replicas of something else, right?
That's not quite fair because Billy can make most anything sound good in a studio.
This
so
is true.
Not a fair comparison.
This is true.
This is true. Their middle school. So my daughter went through the same middle school band program, and I think their middle school band teacher has like a killer sense of humor, because they went to he got to buy 3 new basses this year, and Addie came home with a neon green Jackson, which I just thought was like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. Like I would do the exact same thing if I got to buy 3 new basses for a bunch of middle schoolers. I would just.
No way. I'd probably get a bunch of like, what are they called? Warlocks? Is that the?
Oh, BC Riches.
Yeah.
No.
BC Riches.
Well, look,
crazy like.
We're in this at
a bunch of 11-year-olds
at $250. We're in the same ballpark.
yeah.
Oh,
I would actually
amazing.
probably what I would have bought is, have you guys seen those like, Charvel Rickenbacker basses that they built? I probably would have bought a stack of those. They're Charvel shaped, but all of the like color and design cues come from Rickenbacker, so they look like this crazy hair metal Rickenbacker. I don't know whose weird idea it was, but it's kind of brilliant.
Is that a Chibson thing or something?
No, it is. I did introduce him. I did introduce him to Chibson.
Chibson is pretty funny.
Chibson's good shit. No, it's like a real thing that will be at Guitar Center the next time if you ever go there. It will be there hanging on the wall for $250 or whatever. It's like an entry level. Now you got to look it up.
I am looking it up. It actually looks really cool. Yeah.
Isn't that? I mean, it was a kind of a weird design idea, but it worked. Oh, and speaking of electronics, Sacha, the next time I get something, a bass, what I want is the original electronic design from like a '78 BC Rich Mockingbird. With like the 70 switches,
like 11 little switches,
the 8 5-way switches, and the 16 knobs,
and a red kill switch.
I'll send it to Jeff Matz to wire up for you.
Oh, he's such a dork. I had a cabinet. There's a little cabinet company called Janus, and I bought a cabinet from them that's like a 412, and then a little 6-inch speaker. And he saw it, and he's like, "What is this thing?" Then he had to tear it all apart to see the inside and see how it was baffled and wired, because he was still designing his cabinets, trying to get that thing moving.
What are they called again?
Mats.
Oh, they're called Mats.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mats Audio or
How do you
Mats
come up with
Bass.
that?
I don't know.
Really unique, very creative.
Yeah,
I got to get one of those though.
I got to play one. It sounded great.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, if there's anybody I trust with speaker design, it would be him for sure.
I think his initial problem was that the dude building the enclosures was like a friend of his who was hand building them very, very slowly. And so he didn't have any scale in the building of the cabinets, and that kind of slowed it. He found some speakers he really liked, but the cabinet building was just going too slow. And then he moved, and then the world stopped, and so I don't. Then he became a dealer of Turkish guitars. Apparently, he's importing
Turkish indie art or something. That's. I mean, speaking of that, you guys told us that you just are in the studio. You're recording. You're doing that. Sacha, are you like how are the bands? Are
Yeah,
you back?
music.
Are you guys practicing?
Yeah.
Tours on the horizon?
Oh, well, there's
Intronaut
sad story
doesn't-
time.
Yeah, we're slowly working on a new album. I mean, it's been tough, obviously for all the, the last, whatever, year and a half, but we're like getting together and finally working it out and should be recording like next year sometime. But we do have some
nice.
tours, supposedly. We have February in Europe with Enslaved, this is the third rescheduling that it's on now. And like some festivals next year, which again are like, we're all supposed to happen in 2020.
Yep.
So,
Well, and you guys had a really unfortunate right before Psycho, the drummer that was gonna play for you guys tested positive, and you guys had to pull out of the High on Fire shows and Psycho. That was such a bummer. But I mean, that's just the world right now.
Yeah, it was a bummer. I mean, and I did have super huge FOMO from not going to Psycho, but in a way I was just like kind of dreading, I don't know. I was just like nervous about it.
I totally get it.
I hear you.
We had a hotel room up until a week before. We didn't have tickets, but we figured that wouldn't be the hard part.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and it was just like, fuck, man, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be there right now.
Did you end up going?
No. We went and saw Broom at Bottom of the Hill with half capacity, and that
With Year of
was
the Cobra.
that was perfect.
Nice.
That was like exactly my speed.
Yeah.
Vaccination required, mask required. All right,
Yeah.
that was our first
There
show
you go.
back, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Does it
Right
feel,
on.
because I know the last Intronaut record came out like a month before the world shut down.
Yeah.
Incredible record, but you didn't get to tour on it. I mean, does it feel like that kind of is just like, did it really happen?
Yeah.
Kind of a bummer. We did one tour
played
actually, and it ended the day that everything shut down. In San
that's
Diego.
right. And
I think we
Joe-
played the last show. I think we played the last show ever at Slim's actually.
Oh wow!
Wow.
The last show ever at
'Cause-
Slim's. Holy
Because
shit!
I remember it was like through the whole tour, that everybody was kind of talking about this thing. It went from epidemic to pandemic, and we're like,
Yeah,
oh, that sounds
exactly.
kind of serious. And then as we got closer to California, they're like talking about shutting down in San Francisco. So there was like some talk of maybe that show not happening. And then, then we had LA. And I remember the night that we played the LA show, it was like March 10th or 11th or something like that. And that was like the night where you heard about everybody's band, like canceling tours and,
Yeah.
whatever. And then,
The 13th was when they sent all our kids home from school in Santa Clara County. We were the first county to shut down in the country, and it was
that's
just like,
okay. Yeah.
and it was just like, fuck. This
Yeah.
is. It was a Friday.
real.
It was a Friday night, and I was like, I wonder if I should try and stop at Costco. And I went to Costco, and I was like, holy shit, I don't know what's happening. So I bailed on Costco and went to C's Candy because I didn't know if we would be able to get chocolate for ever again.
Yeah.
And there was no one in there, so it was like same shopping center, whatever. Don't have toilet paper, but I got a ton of chocolate.
Yeah, and
Oh
apparently,
yeah. Remember the toilet paper thing? That was really
so
crazy.
I think it's back.
It's back.
Is
They
it?
were limiting to one
I don't know
pack.
why it's back.
The supply chain problems.
Oh, is that it?
Problem with
Wow.
supply chain is it can take a year and a half for it to actually impact everything.
yeah.
And if you don't,
Yeah.
if you've never been in a business where there was like a chain of, from building guitars that like, oh, everything's great, and then it's not great all of a sudden, and you'd think it would be over, but it's not. It's definitely
How
not.
has that been affecting the two of you? Or, I mean, the three of you. The two businesses. Like, are you having problems with the supply chain? Are you having problems, like, actually?
Our turnaround time is so long that it hasn't really affected us much, but Sacha probably has a lot worse.
It's not too bad. I mean, there's certain things like more like on the electronic side for sure. I mean, pickups, like, a lot of that stuff is not made in the US. So like, weird thing, like a type of magnet that's just like back ordered to fucking hell, or like, just weird pickup. I guess there's been some parts makers that are back ordered too, but I don't know. I feel like staying on top of it in anticipation of that. so it hasn't been like catastrophic.
No. I think
The worst thing has been like slow shipping and stuff. Like for a few months there, like if you sent something to Europe
You
or
didn't
something,
know.
Yeah.
it would be like in customs for like 3 months, and you're like, I mean, luckily
get all the
the customers
reviews.
have been super understanding. Yeah,
Great guitar, shipping with slow shit.
You're like, hey guys,
Yeah.
anyone who complained about shipping last year is a dickhead. Just
Yeah,
period.
seriously.
Just period.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Although
Don't
there
do
was some times, man, I mean, like where like Europe or just going anywhere. I think we sent something to Russia, and it was like, I mean,
Good luck.
a long time before that dude got it. But he finally got it, which I was shocked about, but yeah, it was pretty extreme there for a minute.
Damn.
It's actually not much better now. It's still pretty bad, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was like a whole bunch of factors all combining. Like gutting the post office wasn't great. Like FedEx has been in a long, slow tailspin into shit, and then like all of the good delivery services that have popped up all just service Amazon. So if you're not Amazon, then you're not going to get any help. So it's like the post office or UPS take, hope for the best. So.
And it makes me, I mean, I feel bad too, I'm not going to complain about it ever, because I know it's like all those people are just stressed out, like crazy too, probably. And it's all probably a lot, from what I've heard, it's a lot of like gig workers, or temp workers in there, like in warehouses, and they don't give a shit. They're just trying to probably not get sick or something, or just, I don't know, working longer hours, and probably a million packages because everything's shipped now, and nobody's leaving the house. So
Exactly.
Oh, I went in to the UPS store right around the corner from my house to drop off a package for my daughter to send to her first like college care package. And the entire back wall of the store was just piled from floor to ceiling, like 3 packages deep with packages that the truck had to haul out of there on Saturday afternoon. It was like, whoa. We've tried
Welcome to the shipping episode.
We've tried to. I've honestly tried to slow down on ordering stuff because it's just like it's crazy and the system can't really handle it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So
you are.
We all are.
We all are.
Yeah. Yeah, completely.
So the last show at Slim's, that's crazy.
I think, I mean, don't quote me on that, but I think
Close
so,
enough.
It closed down during.
It's
not long
shut
after. So.
I'm gonna miss Slim's. It wasn't. I mean, I've over the years. I mean, in high school we would go to Slim's all the time because they would do all ages shows, so you could actually go there and see a show when you were 16. But it was also kind of weird the balcony and the people in jackets eating dinners and like the whole scene is a little strange sometimes. But I'd rather go to if I'm going to go to a 500 cap venue in San Francisco, I'd rather go to the Great American Music Hall like every day of the week.
Yeah.
But it was cool that it was there. Now it's this ultra lounge nightclub bullshit place.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's so gross. Their whole social media campaign was like
bottle service.
Oh, it is the epicenter of bottle service. No, it was like girls in bikinis, and it was like live like you're in Dubai, party like you're in Ibiza. And it was
that sounds like literally the worst thing.
It was. Everyone was like, no. Like, is anyone in San Francisco even doing that anymore? Damn. Like they all left.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. There's some tech bros.
Slim's was cool though. I liked it. Wasn't the best club to play, I guess, but I don't know. It was a cool staff and like, it's like some history there. And
yeah,
completely.
And until they handed booking over to Golden Voice or whoever it was that like basically started boxing out any locals from being on any shows.
Yeah,
it was a really cool place to get a start if you were a local because you could support on a pretty good show, but they handed off the book.
Is that where we went and saw Mutoid Man?
Yeah, Mutoid Man and Helmsley and Worship.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a fun show.
That was a show.
Yeah. I would watch Mutoid Man and Helmsley like 6 nights a week if they would just park it by my house.
But Slim's was owned by
what's his name?
Boz Scaggs, right?
Yeah, Boz Scaggs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which is awesome, and to just to think about.
Interesting.
So growing up, my best friend's dad was a straight up blues lawyer. Like he's got a house he's retired and has a house in Arizona now with a room full of glass cases with guitars in it. Like he's literally the problem. But we would go and but he
Send
liked
him
to
my
go.
link.
Yeah, I will.
Send him before Jay's link.
Yeah.
He liked to go see blues shows, and I listened to lots of stuff, but I was always down to go see whoever. And for some reason, we ended up seeing Robin Ford like 5 times at Slim's, and that was always a fun time. That was when I fell in love with my first 5-string, which was the Fender Roscoe Beck Jazz, because Roscoe is Robin Ford's bass player. And he was a fucking incredible bass player, and I always loved the way he sounded. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll get one of those and see if I can
5 it is.
see if I can sound like him.
Yeah.
No, the 5 was because we were playing tuned down stuff, and I was sick of retuning. They started very early. Like, I don't want to have 3 basses, and I don't want to be constantly tuning. So I'm just gonna transpose, and you tune wherever you want, and you just tell me what the notes are, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It was like really a convenience or laziness thing more than anything else for me.
That makes sense. I mean, it would suck to try to keep a 4-string doing all that.
Yeah, and I mean, and then the solution was what I tried to do when I bought the Dunable with that EGC neck and just tune it, B flat, and just lose the top string. But my muscle memory is just built around the 5-string positions. And I use the top string. I just do sometimes. I make weird noises with it mostly. I don't like play music with it, but I'll, turn on a B9 and a Pog and 6 other pedals and make like weird church organ sounds with it. Always like high up on that string. So I just couldn't get used to the 4-string. Luckily, a Dunable with an EGC neck is not a hard guitar to sell.
Yeah.
Literally, a guy drove from Auburn on 10 minutes notice. He's like, I'm in Auburn. I can leave in 10 mintes. Are you going to be there?
California.
And I was like, you're 3 hours away. Like, okay.
Still got there in 10 minutes.
He's like, I was like,
You still got it?
I was at his house. We were at having pizza over here on a Friday night, and I had to run home to meet up with this dude who just drove 3 hours to sell that bass.
Who's your little friend?
Oh, we like dog friends.
Yes, we love dog
this
friends.
we have 2 dogs. This is actually not one of our dogs. This is
No.
my friend's dog.
Nice.
It's a little like
Cat.
Chihuahua, chunky,
Little
brindled Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
You see this mohawk?
Holy shit!
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Like permanent raised hackles.
She's
Sort of-
punk as fuck, dude.
It's a faux hawk.
So
I love it.
we
He's
Also
very
part
retro.
bat.
Yeah.
I love that dog. We have a pit bull mutt who's the exact same like coloring and layout, and she has bat ears too. But man, if she had
That's amazing.
if she had a mohawk,
Oh, that'd be the best.
I think I gotta let her out. Give me 1 second.
yeah, no problem. She's like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, does he have pants on?
I hope so.
It's got real interesting.
I have to do that, man. If I'm on Zoom, the real problem is when you're in a meeting with like 40 people and like people are looking on gallery view, so there's a chance you're on someone's screen, but you're not looking at yourself, and so you forget that you're on camera,
Oh, I always look at myself.
and then you
have to.
and then you're like, you start chewing your fingernails or like doing weird shit
Exactly.
or stand up and reveal your not fully complete outfit, or worst case scenario, you go tubing or whatever. You go Jeffrey Tubin and forget that you're on camera.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, they reinstated that guy. He's back
Really?
at the New York Times. So it's just you can jerk off on camera during the pandemic and you'll get your job back,
Man.
which is good to know.
I mean,
I mean, what are you gonna do? I was on a meeting.
I mean, you could probably wait.
No, but
That's probably what I would do, yeah.
this is what I'm gonna say. I was on a meeting on Zoom continuously for 7 hours.
Oh, are
through
you
now,
serious?
I didn't
that
have
was
to.
your onboarding, wasn't it?
No, it was something else. But obviously, I didn't have to. But there's a scenario where you're just there all day, not talking, not doing anything. Where you're just like, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna do this now. He's probably like looking at porn on his phone.
Probably.
I mean, I'm not saying any of this from experience at all, because I
Look,
would
if
not.
we make it through this podcast without me jerking off, it'll be beautiful.
Seriously.
The longest I'll ever go.
Most impressive. Yeah, watching all that chaos at the shutdown was crazy. Our friend Andy Patterson was on tour in Europe, and we with Insect Arc, I think, and he was just like stuck. And he said they like each show was like, man, I don't know, this is getting weirder. And then they were supposed to go to Russia.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's not go to Russia. Let's cancel the show and let's cancel the Russia show.
Not Russia. That's probably the last place we want to get stuck.
Yeah.
I think that's where Torch was during, or like maybe they were about to go there.
They were about to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were in Greece.
In Europe.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Greece when it happened.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they were.
Yeah, and then we had, who was it, Death Angel. We had like the first metal near-death incident. The drummer, they were on tour in Europe, and they came back to the Bay Area, and one of the dudes was like sick on his deathbed and like nearly died right at the very beginning. So,
man,
I'll tell you what.
That's a show I don't revisit enough.
What show is that?
King of the Hill.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Boomhauer.
Yep.
That, like, there are a couple seasons of that show that are just great and make you remember how great Mike Judge is.
Mike Judge is pretty great.
Yeah.
This is true.
All right. Should we listen to some music?
Yeah, let's listen to some
All
music.
right.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Oh, I picked this week, didn't I?
Sasha, I have to ask you really quickly though, because I had posted something the other day because I was running out of my work music. I call it my work music, which is just mostly instrumental.
I saw that.
And somebody had actually suggested, Future Us's. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I haven't listened to them in a long time. Are you guys still doing that?
Yeah.
Does that still exist in any sort of form at all?
We recorded some songs at the beginning of the whatever, the shutdown or whatever.
Yeah. Whatever.
But I was going to try to like mix them myself, and then it kind of just got, I don't know, I just got stuck on that, and then I don't know. No, not really.
No. Okay.
But maybe at some point, it's all guys that like, I see all the time. Derek, actually, the drummer is the guy, he winds the Dunable pickups.
Oh, nice.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought that at least one of them was associated with the company. Well, and hey, we have mutual inspiration, and I felt like such a dipshit driving in my car, like after you guys played in San Jose, that show we did, when I was like, Future Us's. I get it. It's a Bill and Ted's reference. Like it took me so long to
so is this
pull
podcast.
it,
right.
Which is
I was going to say that looks like Wild Stallions. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly where we got.
We went Future Space Robot. That my buddy Francis from King Gorm and Old Man Wizard, who made the theme music for this, I sent him the first Bill and Ted soundtrack, and I said, listen to this, and then record music for me that is like the amalgamation of everything that's on this soundtrack.
It was perfect.
And that's how we ended up with the sweet ass theme. He had to practice shredding for like 3 weeks so that he could get his chops up, so that he could record the solo that he tracked for it.
Hear that, people?
That's dedication.
That's dedication. For real.
All right. So I picked music.
What you got?
So what we have today is actually kind of fun. We did this once before. So people just randomly submit music to us, the bands themselves. Sometimes they're labels or they're PR people, but they all know they're submitting to be randomly selected to have somebody listen to. And we had 2 splits in the pile.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. So last time we did a split and listened to both bands on the split, and that was kind of a fun way to pick fewer records, but have more bands to cover.
Nice.
If I'm being perfectly honest. So this is one. I'm not lazy.
I'm just kidding.
There's a band called Dos Brujos, which I've actually heard of but never listened to.
Brujos?
And then Onyx Joy, and I think they're both European, and maybe Dos Brujos is from South America, but the Onyx Joy is from Barcelona. Oh. I'm going to share this so that you guys can see what we're looking at. And the split is called Sons of Morpheus. They each did 2 songs. So I was just going to listen to the first one from the first band. Yeah, those are long, so we're not going to trust me, I'm not going to make you guys sit through the whole thing. Usually what we do is just like listen for a minute and kind of go like, stop it at a point where it makes sense and go like, hey, what do you think? Is that something that you would listen to? Would you
I
keep
think
listening?
a lot of it is, yeah, exactly. Like, what is it that keeps you listening?
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it's almost always, if the music is good, what are the vocals?
Yeah,
gonna
when
do?
the vocals come in.
If it's not instrumental,
Yeah.
because those vocals are make or break usually.
Oh, good. We got. I'm always on board. I'm a Neil Peart man at heart, and if you're gonna go high concept mythology with me, I'm always gonna be happy to start with. So here we're exploring ancient Greek Stoic philosophy, which I have decided is the next libertarianism. So watch out for
You
it.
think so?
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be ancient Greek.
Because it's like the same people that were always talking about being libertarian are now talking about Stoic philosophy. So I didn't dive into it because I don't really want to know. But all right, here we go.
Okay.
I don't know how to say your name on Uric Joy, so I'll just say that. But let's take a listen.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, I will say I wish they were singing in Spanish.
Yeah,
I think most of the time I wish people would sing in native language. I understand why bands don't do it, but I don't know. This is a case where I think
you guys think.
You could actually hear his accent.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
It was very chill. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like. How long is that song? Is that like one of the?
It's over
10 minutes.
It's 11 minutes
Yeah,
long.
it seems like it.
78 floors long.
Yeah,
How long would it take to walk up 78 floors?
a lot. Really long time.
Honestly,
55
an
seconds.
infinite amount of time because I don't think I'd make it.
I know your thighs would eventually give out after like 20.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, well, let's.
I like that. I it's just kind of chill. Like that sounds like something. It's to me, that sounds like something that like a King Buffalo is probably gonna do. It like has that bass line that's kind of just.
They're gonna
You're
build.
just kind of riding it. You're gonna build it. You're gonna bring it down. You're gonna build it. You're gonna bring it down. So I don't know.
Let's see. I'm gonna skip to about halfway through and see if we get into some wild shit. That's usually what happens. You pick a random spot and then it'll be like, "Whoa,
What the fuck?
what the fuck happened?"
Go
there?
back. Go back.
Sorry, we're not listening
How
to,
did we get here?
to your whole song, but it just doesn't work that way.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that was a pretty good call. They were writing that same thing, and then they just kind of broke it down a little bit. I could
Something
work
you
to
could-
that.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
just
I like it.
put this on in the background. Totally enjoy it.
That's a Bandcamp page we need to make. Songs JD could work to. I think at 54 episodes we'd have about 400 songs. All right, so
Very
let's.
particular.
So now the other half of the. So I'm gonna go ahead and not pick the 16-minute song.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'm
Maybe
gonna go with the 5-minute song.
it's gonna be the 5-minute closer though. It's just gonna be noise. I don't know. Maybe not.
We have been fooled by some serious fuckery. There was one band we were flipping through the tracks and listening, and we got through the whole thing, and then the last track was like an hour long,
Oh,
and it was the entire album but backwards.
That backwards. Yeah.
oh
It's
man.
like, you fucking assholes! You made me press play on that. Don't do that to me. So all right, Dos Brujos Erebos. very stoic.
It's very stoic. I
like it.
I mean, I like it. It's
Is the
I got
person
much-
repeatedly
much-
dropping a tambourine?
Okay, so that's what's got my attention right now is what's
Yeah.
that fucking tambourine gonna do? Like if this song drops at some point, is the tambourine just gonna go crazy?
Start going
Can you
crazy.
even use tambourines in heavy
to
music?
go
The
crazy.
tambourine solo's coming right up.
Yeah, that'd be the
All right,
best.
call your shot.
Call your shot.
At
Where's
what
the tambourine
at what
solo?
minute of this song is the tambourine solo?
3:20.
It's a 5-minute song, like 3:40. What if they did though? What if they
That would
actually?
be amazing.
Sasha would be elevated to like some sort of oracle level status. All right.
The tambourine oracle.
Did not see that coming. I'll give
Well,
that.
it wasn't a tambourine solo, but it was a solo.
I'll give that a solid not for me.
Yeah, really?
Oh,
Yeah, it's some weird stuff going on in the mix. I don't.
We don't critique the mix on this show. Remember?
Okay. It has to be like outside of a certain allowable normal. Like that guitar solo was happening in a room in a house next door.
I think you just don't understand Greek Stoic philosophy.
Yeah.
Highly probable.
Yeah. I don't know. I will probably go and listen to it after because I think this does sound like something I could work to.
Yeah, give me the report.
Yeah. I'll let
Okay.
you know how it comes. If my writing improves.
All right, that's 2 down. What do we do? Let's do. I picked a Bandcamp pick too. So every once in a while, not every once in a while. Usually we go through the Bandcamp articles and what are they writing about this week? What what corner of like
What
Namibia
random
have they
genre
have
of
they
Chicago
discovered a
bullet
pocket
pop.
or a pocket of like blues Prague and Africa? But this week I just looked at their picks of the week in alternative, like the alternative chart, and I picked the album cover that I like the best.
Ooh, there you go.
And turns out that is a band from Australia called Pink Lemonade.
Oh,
Holy Mountain.
Yeah, I'm not mad. And
Pink Lemonade. I
the
love Pink Lemonade.
the album, well, the band is called Closure in Moscow. The album is called Pink Lemonade.
Oh.
So I don't know anything about this other than people on Bandcamp like it. So let's
It's
hear what
noisy progressive pop with a strawberry twist. I love that.
So is this what's going to happen in the wake of King Gizzard? Is that Australia is just going to generate like an infinite number of weird psychedelic pop rock bands?
I mean, not if Yaz's dead, but
No.
no.
All right. Well,
But maybe.
so I didn't pick a song for this one, but there were some great song titles. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys look at Neoprene Byzantine, the Brahmatron song, Dinosaur Boss Battle, I think has
Ooh,
potential.
Dinosaur.
Dude, if you
Dinosaur
could pronounce
boss
track
battle.
number 7 there,
No, not
What
even.
is that?
Mauer Bauer
Tarki?
Church of the Technochrist. I think Dinosaur Boss Battle is calling out for me, but if
Yeah.
anybody else has a strong feeling.
Yeah, Dinosaur Boss Battle sounds great.
All right, people of Bandcamp, let's see if you have good taste.
That's scary.
Dear Swamp Ass. Back from Bermuda just in time. Here from the past, present, future, I'm sweating, babe. My primordial soup needs sold anyways. I got my style close, so let them suburbs feel my dino war.
I love this.
I think it's cool. Yeah, this is not just some band trying to rip off King Gizzard.
No,
I like this. This is soulful.
Anyone else? Thoughts, feelings?
I was not expecting that, and I do not like
Fair?
just being honest.
No. Did you see this art?
Is it the vocals? Is it the music? Is it everything together? Is
The
there anything
artwork's
particularly-
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into the artwork. Yeah.
That head
I
splitting.
don't know. I don't like the guy's voice.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when he called us little monkey.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of just little weird Easter eggs throughout an album that has a song like that in it, and I want to hear what all of them are. There's a lot of good like weird stuff going on in pop and alt. Like we had Brett Morris, who's a podcast producer over at Earwolf. He's not at Earwolf anymore, but he does a production on a bunch of big podcasts. But he's in a band called Man. This is a sub pop band. You're in LA, Sacha. You probably know Honus and Man.
Yeah.
They're kind of like this. It's like this fucking weird out there, like if Mr. Bungle was a pop band stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I dig it.
It was interesting.
I like that description. If Mr. Bungle was a pop band.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
If Mr. Bungle wrote songs for Britney Spears. Oh shit, I want to hear that.
I want to hear that. Well, I mean, this is not exactly close to that, but that's sort of like the story of Harmar Superstar. It's like this fucking weird, mad songwriting genius trying to write music for all of those people, and then eventually just putting it out himself. He's another guy that I love, though.
Oh, he's the best.
All right. Well, that was cool. I don't know. Let's see.
I'm into it.
Let's hear the beginning of another song, just because I'm curious. Church of the Techno Christ.
Crystal in the eye, jetsam on the tongue. Yeah, you're lost in your flesh. You covered the impermanent. No sisters, no brothers, no fathers, no mothers, no daughters, and no sons. If you share the substrate, you will find the multitude becomes one. Testify that you may circumvent the analog.
Is that Cedric?
Someone spent some time listening to
Somebody's listened to a lot of Mars Volta.
Mars Volta. Even the phrasing, like, that was weird.
I mean, maybe that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounded so much like Cedric, especially that song. That's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that about the last song, but on that one, it was like blatant ripoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of blatant ripoffs, I should play my new favorite discovery in nu metal. So
you have a favorite nu metal discovery?
I
They're
do.
still making nu metal?
Okay, so the guy who runs the practice studio that like the only one left in San Jose is exactly like most of the guys who run a lot of practice studios. Got like a sweet Camaro. He's got a drum set with flames on it. He plays in sweet bands, and whenever he shares music on Facebook, I get so excited. I just wanted whatever it is. I just want to dig into it so hard. And he shared this. I got to play it. Sorry. Whatever submissions, you can wait a minute.
Submissions, you can wait.
Because I watched it.
So this is coming from the guy with the bitchin' Camaro?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The guy who thought it would be cool to name your practice studio Music Inc. INK, because like tattoos are cool and music's cool. So Music Inc. Studios. And I think he had a tattoo artist in the front for a little while, but all right, I got to find this because it blew my mind. All right.
Do you want me to vamp while you look for this?
So I actually was gonna ask them. So like one of the things we always try to ask at the end, but now's a good time because I'm looking something up is, so like what's the stuff you guys are super hooked on right now? Like listening to constantly, nonstop, old or new, doesn't matter where it came from, but like what are you guys?
What's blasting over the speakers in the wood shop?
The wood shop.
It's like 1995 in our wood shop. Yeah, I don't.
We've been listening to Pulp a lot.
Pulp, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Nice. Any
What
particular
else?
album?
Sharon Van Etten gets played about every day.
Oh,
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Angel Olsen
Nice.
as well. Who else?
Yeah, we're either
Literally-
really
if you was
chill or heavy.
Literally like Radiohead, Weezer, Nirvana. I mean, I'm not joking.
It is 95 in the
It
JML
is,
shop.
yeah.
That's good work music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Completely.
I have no.
That is. Yep,
I have
Radiohead
no
for
problem with any
sure.
of that. How about you, Sasha?
I don't know. I kind of go all over. I just sort of throw on. I don't know. I try to check out new stuff. Today I checked out the new Conversion Chelsea Wolf.
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't heard
It's-
that yet.
It's good.
I think it's only one song or something out there.
Yeah, it was just one song.
And I had, let's see, I'm just looking at Spotify. I've just been a lot of Yob the last few days.
Yeah.
Been in that kind of, in that mood.
It's a seasonal thing. Fall is coming. It's time for Yob.
Yeah, it's Yobs.
It's Yob
It's
season.
Yob season.
That's
Get your warm sweaters out.
The
Put
doom is coming.
put a beanie on. That's one show that we have tickets for that has not been rescheduled
No, it hasn't
yet,
been rescheduled.
and I really want them to reschedule it.
Yes. Yeah, I too have been listening to Yob lately.
I listen to them all the time, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. They did a song on the Deep Purple tribute record that we did. They did a cover of Perfect Strangers. And if you haven't listened to it yet, listen to it because it's really fucking great. It's
I should check that out. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, so this is a band that I'm going to not
gonna
say
share
anything.
this?
I'm just going to share it.
Oh, okay.
And then
Oh boy.
we're going to do the postmortem on what we just saw.
Oh, is that the name of the band?
The band is called
Chaosium?
Chaosium, like Colosseum, but chaotic. I think
Do we
is
need to
really-
be nice? Is it going to get you kicked out? If
No, no.
Yeah.
We don't know
Like a
anything.
buddies band?
No.
I mean, we should just be nice anyway.
No, I looked
Well,
them up
yeah.
on Spotify. This is a band that has 60,000 monthly listeners. We don't need to be nice. They're fine.
We don't need to be nice to
They're
them.
fine.
This band has 60,000 listeners?
Yeah, monthly listeners. Yes.
Man.
I'm really out of the loop.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you soak it in. JD, you need to be looking.
Oh, we're watching a video.
Oh shit! It's about to get real.
Is that Addie's bass?
Sorry, podcast listeners. Go watch the video.
Maybe you are not a fool. Maybe I'm in the wrong world. I feel something, but I see nothing. I need to break the bind. Help me read all behind.
All right, hold on. Okay.
So is this the
Dude,
quiz.
those cool JMLs they had in that video.
Thank you.
What year was that song released?
Probably this year, but this is the Greta Van Fleet of new metal.
This is 2000.
They are ripping off Korn.
It's 2018.
This is
This is new music. I thought certainly this was some band that like came up in the like the wake of the first wave that just nobody really knew about. But no, this is like their first album, maybe their second album.
these are bands that were influenced by that.
Oh my god, That's not influenced. I think they owe royalties.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they say. We're influenced by it.
Oh, come on.
So that sounded just like Korn.
Well, and you see his moves. Like, do you see the singer moves? Go back and watch the Epic video. So I made the bold claim last week that all of this is Mike Patton's fault, and that the Epic video was the inciting incident for all of new metal. But he does the exact same like little heel kick, hair flip move that Patton does throughout that video. So I think he owes him royalties for like sweet stage moves. And then I don't know how you go in the studio and go, yeah, that's us, man. It sounds great.
I mean, it doesn't sound bad.
No, it doesn't. It sounds fine.
It sounds great. It's been recorded well. Like it's well produced.
Are they Steel Panther?
Yeah.
This is my question. Is it like a joke? Is it a joke tribute or is it a real band? And would you even know the difference?
I wouldn't even know the difference.
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, I was blown away.
I mean, is it a joke? I think we know the answer, but yeah.
Yeah. I was being hopeful. I was just like, maybe they were like, oh, cool, like we were a Korn tribute, but like we write some of our own songs, so let's like start slipping those in, and people won't notice.
That is it.
That's what I mean.
They started off as a Korn cover band.
I bet they did.
That is 100% how this band came to be.
And this is why when Brian posts music on Facebook, I always listen to it. He's like a negative influencer.
I was going through some bins in the garage yesterday, and I actually found I have like 8 of the original Korn stickers that Sony sent us to distribute with that first. What was the first album called?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I can't even remember. Do you guys remember?
I was too old.
Come Out and Play or something. I don't remember. Was it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know there was a little girl with a doll on a swing set. It was like the creepiest album cover ever. But so if anybody wants some original Korn stickers,
people do
from like 1995, hit me up.
I think anything east of Reno and west of maybe Philadelphia, everyone wants a Korn.
There's a lot of those.
Everybody wants
a lot of those.
Sticker.
Yeah.
I was currency better. Out there, I think.
Yeah, there's nothing better than like being good but also bad. You get a lot of really cool shit when you're a label rep.
Yeah.
I wonder if label reps still exist. Huh. Maybe that's a thing from the past.
The whole world is different, man.
I didn't even think about that. Like there used to be labels used to hire college kids. They would pay them little to no money, and they would send them loads of shit, and just your job was to go put up flyers. Drop off
street team, baby.
Yeah, you were the street team for a label.
Obsolete.
Yeah.
Obsolete doesn't exist anymore.
No, they just hire kids to post on social media.
Yeah, exactly.
They hire like 12-year-olds to make TikTok videos.
Buy likes.
That was my favorite thing. My buddy was the guy that ran the music mag that I wrote for. Was a Sony rep, and every time we would go to his house, he had a pile of shit from Sony. He's like, help yourself to the pile, dude. Like, thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm just like a couple of years older than the next oldest person probably in this room, which would be you. And I was just like, No, all of that came, and I was like, no, we're not. We can't. I'm not.
Well, I did get to, I got to rep Our Lady Peace for a while, so
Hey,
I really had to push them hard.
Raise your hand if you owned an Our Lady Peace CD.
I did because I had to push it.
Yeah, you had a lot of them.
I have some 7 inches if you want one.
I will. I'll take Come Navi.
You wanna? Yeah.
I can still sing some Our Lady Peace songs.
Nice.
No, I'm not perfect.
No.
I just miss new metal. Like
what was the big one? I can't remember.
What was that?
Yeah, it wasn't
song?
that one. Yeah, there was one that was like huge radio.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, they're Canadian, right?
Were they?
They definitely like. I feel like that's a band from Canada that was allowed to have one hit in America. And
they are. They're from Toronto.
Yeah. I think I can hear the accent. When
that oddly makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the most polite new metal band.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Jordan from 2 Minutes to Late Night dug his old like high school CD booklet
I
out
love
of
that.
storage.
So good.
And he's doing videos where he like reviews all the albums in it. And our house got burglarized my senior year of high school, and all of my CDs got stolen. I wish I still had them, because that would be so fun to do now, is to just go back into your CD booklet and go like, fuck, man, I had some real trash in here. Because I'll make fun of nu metal, but I didn't. I listened to lots of bad music.
Oh yeah, I think it was Starseed.
Starseed.
Is that the song?
That's the
Starseed.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recognize it from
was
the
on the
title.
Armageddon soundtrack.
Well, that's a song like you'd hear Stars from Hum, and then you'd hear Starseed after that, and it kind of made a weird sort of sense, even though one's clearly better than the other one.
Man, I still that Hum album that came out last year, it's so fucking
it's so good.
Yeah, it's really
It
good.
is so good.
So good.
God, I was listening to it again today. It's just like, that is one that I just keep going back to and back to and back to. It's like, God, this is a good record.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Yeah, pull up your Spotify. Let's see what everybody listened to. I'm finally disconnected by Spotify from my kids, so my year-end summary will no longer be a mix of what I listen to
You won't get any
and what
Frozen soundtrack
and what
in
a
there anymore?
12-year-old listens to. Actually, she listens to good music now. So
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
recently played Man, Tower Power Bump City.
Just got that on record.
I did.
Sweet.
Burden of Restlessness, Infinite Granite.
Is there anything that you guys, like anything that you sort of discovered in the pandemic that you might not have heard otherwise? Because that was like all you could do was kind of focus on, go deep down these rabbit holes.
I'm a bad music listener. I never listen to new stuff. I'm terrible.
It's always the old stuff.
I'm not always, but yeah, 90% of the time. Yeah. I'm not a new music discoverer.
Yeah.
I feel
All
like
right,
I'm the same, yeah.
Yeah, I got hit with the other day. I mean, apparently this band everybody had heard of except me, because I think I finished like my Spotlights mix or something, and so it went on to like, if you like Spotlights, you might also like this, and it pulled up a band called Alcest,
Oh yeah,
which I guess has been around for quite some time.
a long time.
First I'd ever heard of them. I'm like, I just discovered this band called Alcest. People were like, oh yeah, they've been around forever, dipshit. No.
Yeah. All right. So I'm real proud of this. So here's 4 in a row on my recently played on Spotify. James Brown's Funky People Volume 1, which is one of the greatest albums ever made. Then we have, where did it go? After James Brown's Funky People, we have Dysrhythmia. So I was like on a deep Cynic and Dysrhythmia kick, like like going back and listening to some of that wild shit. The New Zealand Ardor, and then John Mayer's Sob Rock, which if you haven't if you haven't looked at it or listened to it yet, is like a real good piece of comedy. Like, he's definitely made an album, but he's also making a long joke as part of the album, including the artwork and everything around it. I even think having Paul Reed Smith build him a Stratocaster is like a long troll.
Is that PRS?
I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah, I think he knows exactly what he's doing, and he thinks that's the funniest shit that anyone ever did. Like, merge the two dad guitars ever into one monster dad guitar.
They're like, I'll make you a guitar, and he's like, I want a Strat.
I want a Strat. but I want bird inlays. Something about, I knew it was wrong even when I was a teenager. Like, going in and staring at the wall at Guitar Center and looking at all the guitars, I knew the like fancy quilted maple tops and the birds were like some kind of trick. I didn't quite understand it, but it was definitely like, ooh, come to me. You're gonna like this guitar. It was like,
The Fancy Woods.
Yeah.
They got some sick stuff though, PRS.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Some of those
No, it's
Fright
like,
Rock
it's
ones.
easy to make fun of them, but I think they figured out that market. I think they figured out the rich dude market before anybody else, kind of. And they make Alex Lifeson's signature acoustic guitar.
Do they? Yeah.
I'm down for that. Anything Alex touches, I enjoy. That came out weird.
I was just gonna say, but I was holding it back.
Fine.
Yeah.
The basses are terrible, though. The Paul Reed Smith basses are embarrassing. I think there's only like 5 or 6 bass brands that I can even deal with at all.
Yeah, me too. Completely.
It sucks that market is so unlevel. There's a million guitar companies, and then there's like 0 bass companies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, if
is it like why is it so different? Why is it so? Because I don't understand.
People want to make melodies and write songs, and most people can't do that on a bass.
Well, no, they can't do that, but I mean,
so they just sell a lot fewer. I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see the numbers.
Less people make basses because they just don't sell as many.
Yeah, like you don't have to give out any trade secrets, Sacha, but percent of units sold guitars versus basses at Dunable.
I'm not sure, but I would guess probably like 25% is basses.
Yeah, 75, 25. Yeah. That would be my gut. My gut, 70, 30, 75, 25.
We need more bass players in the world.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
more rhythm.
But I also understand, like, it's a really hard instrument to play by yourself. And I think
that too.
And
what?
It's not super fun to just play bass.
Like,
for me, it's only like fuck a guitar player, but I at least have to have a drummer. Like it's not fun without it for me. But I'm not doing this like crazy melodic.
That's probably where all the fun pedals come in, right? Like that's when it gets fun.
No,
not even then.
No.
So you're saying it's painful.
No, I just need a drummer.
Is not fun.
Gotta have somebody to play with.
I gotcha.
Like when was the last time you saw a busker out on the corner
playing bass,
singing songs and playing bass? Now, like the crazy Japanese guy who does backflips and slaps like crazy, those guys you'll see. But that's a subset of bass playing. You're just not a guy like playing Beatles songs on bass and singing on the corner. It's not enough to it.
This is true.
Most people can't drag enough melody out of a bass to pull that shit off.
You get a good looper, there you
go.
A few different things going at the same time.
Oh, I think you just gave yourself a new mission: learn how to play solo bass and entertain us.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Me and my daughter are gonna learn bass together.
Yeah, I want to be part of a rhythm section. That was the whole appeal of it for me.
Yeah,
from the beginning, and that's why I have a guitar, because I don't ever write on bass. Anything. I just can't. I don't know why.
And you guys all play guitar, right? None of you play bass?
I'm a drummer.
Yeah, just guitar for the most part. I mean, I play bass occasionally when I'm setting them up and stuff.
Every guitar player knows they can also play bass.
Right, because bass is just like bad guitar.
It's just easy guitar.
Bad guitar.
No, I know. I saw that one stewing.
Yeah.
It was, I knew it was going to come out.
It's hard to say that to a bass player.
I get it. I know there's a difference between people who play bass and people like playing bass on an album or in a live set or whatever.
But that's the thing, is like you could have a completely ripping guitar player. If you don't have a good rhythm section, your band is going to suck.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, the only thing you have to. I mean, you can just be Michael Anthony good and have a good rhythm section as long as you can keep time.
Yeah.
Like you don't. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Tons of bands are fucking fine with the guy who can just go dong dong dong. It's fine.
Just ride that low E.
Yeah.
Just
Works for AC/DC. I mean, he plays that dumb bass solo Michael Anthony does on his Jack Daniels bass. It's like unlistenable. I mean, bass solos are maybe my least favorite thing in the world.
How lucky was Michael Anthony? They're just like, hey, you want the easiest job in the world, but be really rich and get to just like party?
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do I have to do?
I think he sang all the backup though, right?
No, he's a great backup singer. Yeah.
See
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
You
That's-
see that?
So I listened to some stupid fucking podcast that was about in defense of Michael Anthony or something, and it was like, but he sings all the backups and it wouldn't be the same without him in the studio. And it's like, okay.
That's because they were like, hey, you're not doing much. Do you think you could sing backup?
Oh no.
No, he held it down though as a bass player.
Yeah, no, he held it down.
I can't hate. It seems simple, but that he makes it sound simple.
Yeah.
But he's holding it down.
And Sacha's experience is maybe a little bit different because, especially with Joe's not like an average bass player in your band. But even Joe's days in the studio are probably the easiest, right? Like when you guys are recording something.
No.
No. Actually,
look at that.
I'm not surprised.
It's the first
Joe's
time
a-
I've ever heard that the bass. He doesn't just come in.
Joe's
do
a
his bass
different
track,
breed.
done.
He's a
I'm
different
out.
breed.
Running burritos.
Yeah, he's like a jazz. I mean, he's super hyper analytical and
Yeah.
critical and wants everything to be perfect, which is great,
But he still
But-
only usually has to record one track, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot going on.
But there's
You
a
know?
lot in that one track.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. No, I would. I mean, the guy who can fill Trevor Dunn's shoes when somebody needs to is not somebody to fuck around with at all. No, he's. And my favorite thing was when I saw you guys at Bottom of the Hill with Scale the Summit, and I laughed for like an hour because the merch tables were all full of tab books and theory videos and
Oh my god. Dude, we did Europe with those. Or sorry, go on. Finish.
No,
I
that
wanna
was
hear
it.
this.
That was it.
But we went to Europe. We had Scale the Summit with us in Europe one time, and I don't know if they like didn't bring merch or if they just purposely only brought tab books as merch.
Now that's a thing that Michael Anthony should have sold at Van Halen shows. Michael Anthony tab book.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And someone should force him to write out the tab for that bass solo. I want to see it. Like, how do you write the part where he's rubbing the Jack Daniels bottle on the neck of the Jack Daniels bass?
It's just backslash.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, him and like a good friend of mine is like super into Billy Sheehan too. Sheenan, whatever his name is, and he'll like periodically, but watch this video, and it'll be some video of him playing some incomprehensible solo. It's just like the least musical thing I've ever heard. It's like that one video of that guy shredding guitar, and it's like really impressive the speed at which he's hitting notes, but none of them are right or follow any kind of discernible pattern. But his like conviction is so there that it's like you believe it, but then you listen to it and you go,
is that a specific video or just
he's like famous on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
He just like shreds these guitar
I have
solos.
no idea. Like, and Sasha was just nodding, like, "Yep, that guy. Yep,
Well,
I
there's
know
a-
that guy." I'm like,
There's more than
"That
one.
guy?
There's a
Which
lot
guy?"
of them.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the fingers are doing the right thing and the face is doing the right thing, but it is just not music.
the faces. That's awesome.
Because
He's making the sweet solo face.
yeah, in his world, he's like just incredible, and you could play that for someone who doesn't know music at all, and they might go like, "Wow, that guy's really good. Holy shit! It all looks right. It doesn't sound good, but and those Billy Sheehan solos are just like that. I don't like his big thing. So this in the 90s, maybe even in the late 80s. It's like when you were going to tap the shit out of your bass, you had to scoop the frets, right? So his like signature Fender Urge P bass was like a short scale P bass, and then all the frets, I think after the 12th fret, were all scooped out, so there's actually no wood there, so that he could like tap more furiously. I don't know, so the wood wouldn't interfere with his.
Wow.
With his.
I actually had to look up. I didn't know who Billy Sheehan was.
Yeah, he played in.
It sounded familiar.
What was the super group?
Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who? Anyway, well, here we go. Raise your hand if you saw Mr. Big live.
He's also. What was the other band he was in? Talus?
Talus. He played with Steve Vai.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
David Lee Roth.
he's legitimately a great bass player.
Oh,
I'm not-
completely.
No, I saw him. I think they opened for Jimmy Page on the Outrider tour when he toured that solo album with Jason Bonham playing drums, and that was a great show. But I had to sit through Mr. Big before.
I do
we
like
got
that he
there.
fits the stereotypical bass player because he is 6'2".
We're all tall.
All bass players are
the
the
rule.
tallest in the band.
That's the rule. Oh, if you want to go down an absolutely hilarious rabbit hole, because like instructional videos in the 80s, pre-YouTube,
Yeah.
guitar, bass, drums, whatever, are some of the most hilarious unintentional comedy in all of video history. And there was a guy named Beaver Felton.
Great name.
What?
Look him up. Beaver
Felton?
Beaver Felton on bass.
That
Oh
sounds
yeah,
like
it was.
Beaver on bass. That's awesome.
His videos were so good.
He's an inspirational musician. And Beaver moved to Orlando. He's in Orlando now.
He's in so this is the picture that oh no, this is the video. The picture that I remember, and I just, in an image search, it was like the 5th one that came up, is this picture of of him with like sweet aviators and a green bass and a tight red tank top and a really cool mullet. Oh, there it is.
Yep, there it
I have to look him up.
I'm looking that up.
Oh, I'll play.
That's sweet. It looks like
Here we go.
He works out.
Let's just listen to it because it is.
So this was how you learned how to play bass back in the day?
No,
You bought a Beaver video?
I didn't. But at a time when bass players were going like, hey, I can do cool stuff too. These were the Stu Ham and Beaver Felton.
This looks like the video we watched last week from
Pony Express
Pizza.
Oh yeah. So if you want to play cool solo bass, it sounds like this, and I hate it.
It's the Kaler.
He's got a sweet tremolo. Turn the tone knob down, first of all.
Don't you hate it when people try to make bass interesting? What is that, a Carvin, or what is that bass?
I don't know. It looks like a Carvin.
It does kind of.
Is that just like running straight into the?
It sounds like
To the
it.
cabinet,
Oh, he's got
like this?
this is chorus or something always.
Wow.
But no, it's like my least favorite genre of bass playing is this like hot garbage,
Sweet bass solos.
double tap melodic, high transparency tone, so you can just hear every click and snap and crack of everything. Even
See
I mean,
that on the next Kook record.
I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble because I can't do a Victor Wooten video. Like I know he's a legendary musician and bass player, but again, when I see him play, I just go like, ugh, I don't like that. It doesn't sound good to me.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I don't know who that is.
Oh JD. so just like I have blind
Educate me.
just like I have blind spots with hardcore, you have blind spots with like fusion. No, he's like he's like a Michael Jordan level famous bass player.
Who's the banjo guy? He
Bella
plays with
Fleck
all
and
the
the
time.
Bella
Oh,
Fleck
yeah.
and the
Did he
Fleck
play
tones.
with Bella Fleck and
Yeah.
the Fleck tones?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we can hear all stringed instruments snapping and popping nonstop.
Gotcha.
Fuck. But if I could have my CD binder again, there's definitely at least one Bella Fleck CD in there from high school.
I really like this though. Like people also ask, did Victor Wooten go to college? No. Denby High School.
No, he went to the School of Hard Knocks.
What is Victor Wooten known for? I love all the Google questions.
A really goofy signature bass with the yin yang pick guard. I think
Oh,
is
yeah.
that's mostly what I think of.
I forgot about that.
Wooten. Isn't that worth of $5 million?
It's funny because this is the second time I've talked about Bella Fleck today.
Really?
Because he played at the Goddamn Bluegrass Jam. It's a live show in San Francisco, and Dave Paling from Channel 5 was there and posted like,
Oh, really?
I've never liked Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, but man, he murdered some bluegrass today.
So here's
It
a
was-
question, because this is one of the ones that came up in the Google's most asked questions when I searched Victor Wooten, is who invented slap bass?
Well,
So who invented slap bass?
I mean, the godfather of it is probably Larry Graham, but I don't know if he would say he invented it, but maybe.
Well, according to Google, Larry Graham.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's a video where Larry Graham talks about
inventing it.
inventing it or something. I feel like I've seen that.
But I bet you there's some other guy out there who's like,
Right.
fucking Larry Graham stealing all my. He's an
Saw
ad.
my band play at a dive bar in 32.
Yeah.
No, 32.
But I mean, there were a bunch of bands at that time, like the Brothers Johnson. There were other people playing slap. But I mean, he's who I think of as the original. I love Graham Central Station. That they have a couple of great records. The Jam is the go-to song. I think every band should record a song like that, which is, we've talked about this before. It's the song where you introduce all your band members, and then everyone gets a sweet, sweet solo so that you can
it's
see.
like hot chocolate, right?
Yeah. But they have someone in their band who plays the funk box. That's their entire instrument.
What the fuck is a funk box?
I don't know.
Funk is a funk box.
I think it's like, did you guys ever take wood shop or have someone in your family who took wood shop and you build one of those drums? You build a box, and then you cut out slots on the top, and then you can hit it. And I'm pretty sure the funk box was some version of that like wood shop drum.
Interesting. There's a lot of questions. What is a slap bag?
What is a slap?
A slap bag? A slap bag is like a college drinking game where you get like the boxed wine, but you take the bag out, and then somebody slaps the bag while you. I don't know. We never played that in college.
Yeah, your life went wrong if you're playing that game.
Yeah.
I'll ask my daughter. Hey, did you guys go to
play slap
you
bag?
go to any parties this weekend? Did you guys play any slap bag? Are they doing that up at the University of Oregon right now?
Trying to relate.
Trying. No. She's like, I asked her because we called her on Friday night. It was her first weekend away at college. Like, what are you guys doing? Are there parties and stuff? Yeah, probably. They were gonna like go back to their room and watch Community, I think was her answer.
Ooh,
or
really living it up.
Or Adventure Time, maybe. I think they like have a few series that they'll.
Adventure Time makes a little more sense. At least it's like some weird psychedelic cartoon.
I'm surprised she didn't say Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. We're gonna go back and watch Grey's Anatomy. It's gonna get wild. I tried to leave her alcohol. She wouldn't let. She's like, I'm good. I don't need it.
Meanwhile, on the other hand, that's not on the phone. She's slapping a wine bag.
Yeah. Slapping that thing.
Like, it's really boring here.
I'd be so proud. No, because see, we have FaceTime now, so she has to even be more clever than that. We could actually see where she was.
Oh man,
and what she was.
You
doing.
seem disappointed that she's not all fucked up.
Part of me is a little bit. It'll happen. It's only been a week.
It's only been a week.
That's true.
I mean,
why aren't you fucked up yet?
Well, I mean, and we let her drink at home if she wanted to. Let her try stuff. She missed her last 2 years of high school, like your prime high school party years.
Oh yeah.
Were in a pandemic, so she didn't go through that experience. It's gonna happen. She's gonna end up somewhere, and she's gonna get fucking trashed, and she's gonna be like, "Whoa, this is what this is." Hopefully, she'll call us and
tell you all about it.
Get some pointers. My brother and sister did that for me. They both went to Cal Poly, and I was in 9th grade, and I went down to visit my sister and stay with her for the weekend, and she took me to parties and got me fully fucking hammered. And then there was a friend that had a little sister that was there at the party, and we started talking, and we were like getting into it. Maybe it was sophomore year, whatever. And then my sister fully like cock-blocked me. She's like, I think it's time to go, and she dragged me away. And I was like, literally, this is the only thing I'm here to do. Why are you doing this to me? You're gonna bring me to a college party where there's a high school girl, and we're getting along, and then you're gonna yank me out of here, like 5 minutes in. That's
Take care of your little brother.
Then don't get me drunk.
Yeah.
Like that seems like maybe more important than.
Cal Poly's in Slow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sacha, did you grow up in Southern California? You're in Southern California, right?
Yeah, I'm from LA pretty much.
You're LA native.
Yeah. Which part?
I grew up like in mostly Santa Monica area.
Oh, okay.
The west side. My dad lived in San Diego. I was like kind of in both places, but yeah, Pacific Beach and Santa Monica pretty much.
Oh, nice.
So so I was in LA for like a year and a half in 91, 92, and going to college and like trying to find, because all I did here was go to shows, and trying to figure out in LA like where the scenes are and where to go shows back then was not easy. What were the music scenes when you were like in high school? What
so I was
bands
in high school, yeah, like that would have been like mid 90s, so mid to late 90s. So I don't know, there was like punk stuff, like DIY punk kind of stuff happened, that was more like in just sketchy neighborhood, kind of like those kind of spots.
I remember lots of warehouse shows and lots of like sketchy non-permanent venues.
Yeah. But then there was still like shows would happen in like Hollywood, West, like the Sunset kind of area, Troubadour, Roxy, Whiskey, a lot of metal shows and shows would happen there too.
To hell with the devil. That's what I always say. There was a club that I used to go to, and I don't know if it was called this all the time or if it was just the night that they did it in Silver Lake, called the Peace Pipe. Does that ring any bells for you?
A place called the Peace Pipe?
Yeah. In
No.
Silver. So I think that was just the name of the show for that one night a week. Every one night a week, like a Tuesday night, they would do like a funk jam. It's like show up with an instrument and they'll match you up with other players, and they had a real basic setup on stage, and you get like 5 minutes to talk and then like 10 or 15 minutes on stage to just fucking rip it out. And it was a blast because that was the Beastie Boys were still living there. Like Norwood from Fishbone would show up and just play, and then you'd have to go and play after him and feel like a complete asshole.
Yeah. I wonder where that was, huh?
It was somewhere it was something in Silver Lake, and I have a vague memory that wasn't the actual name of the club. It was just the name of the night. But I wish there was more of that. That was a really fun setup, and I wish, like in comedy they do open mics or whatever. There's improv shows, but in music you'd rarely get kind of like there's that baked potato I keep hearing about. It sounds like they do some stuff similar to that.
They do have, I haven't been there, in a couple of years, but there used to be like an open jam night on like Monday nights or whatever. That place is tiny though. The place is like the size of like a bedroom. It's really a tiny little club. Yeah. But it's great. Like that's kind of like what you're talking about. A lot of cool, people you would think that are like too famous or whatever to be playing there. But like Danny from Tool will like play a couple nights a week, just like with another band or,
I know they had a whole series where they would have comedians come and like sing a cover. Like I think Brendan Smalls was involved somehow, and he would assemble a band, and then somebody from comedy would just like rip off a cover. There's a bunch of those guys. Women can sing. Chris Hardwick would go there and sing, or whoever was around. Like, I'd love to go to more shit like that, or I'd love to go to anything. But I don't know, that like kind of spontaneity is really fun, and I've just been going to shows where I know the bands or they're just going to play their songs, and it was cool to like see what happened.
Yeah.
That would be cool, actually.
And it's not, improvisation is not really part of the metal lexicon, but I wish there was more of it. I'd be curious to see if there would be a way to blues jams. I mean, every town has
I think
some.
that's the thing is like just metal isn't about jamming. I mean, there's some. There are bands, but I mean, it's really about precision and like getting and nailing everything that you're doing.
Yeah, there's a way. I know there's a way to do it.
What about like
totally could be
a Doom improv night?
Yeah, there you go.
Doomprov.
It's E. You just need one note. All you need is one note. You just play that note, and then we'll just make it louder and then less loud.
Let's do it. I'll bring my pedal. That'd be awesome.
You could hand someone your instrument while that note is.
Yeah, no. The first minutes, you use like one chord. You just have a chart, like one chord per minute, and then see what we can do. It's a good idea, actually.
Love it.
So the problem with thinking about things like this is then it always ends up with me going, well, I guess if I want to do it, I'm going to have to do it myself.
Do it yourself.
And then now you're organizing.
DIY, baby.
Now you're organizing something some other night of the week when you already don't have enough time to do anything else. No. But I think the Bay Area is just so hard for artists in any concentration to just eke out a living. There's just the possibility of that kind of stuff is lower and lower. Seems like people gut it out in LA because there's a promise of maybe discovery or stardom or whatever, but here artists are just like, fuck it, I'm out of here. We don't need to be here anymore.
Portland, here we come.
Yeah. Hello, Boise.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So when did you start playing in bands? Like, how old were you the first time you got into a band, Sacha?
High school, like 9th, 10th grade or whatever. Yeah.
Do you have like real recordings of any of your really old bands?
Well, I don't know if I do, but those guys
they exist.
Probably do. Yeah, they probably exist somewhere.
Some reel to reel.
Yeah. We're not that old.
Yeah, we are.
No, that's true. I did record on tape. I didn't record on a 1976 Sansui home reel to reel, but yeah. Yeah,
the big thing was like I think ADAT or something when I was
yeah.
And all the studios had ADATs. That was like the VCR kind of tape or something like that, right?
Yep. So I busted out on our 1-year anniversary episode a song from my high school band, that was recorded on ADAT in a van with a snake running into the living room where we practiced. That was the mobile recording rig in 1990 or whatever it was.
Awesome.
And I still have the nice Maxell cassette master.
Right.
But yeah, I want to get together a bunch of people who we've had on who have like old recordings, and then just do an episode where we all play like the first shit that we ever put on tape.
Yeah,
we've gathered.
I have the worst shit.
Oh yeah, I'll send you links. I could probably beat you. I thought I was less.
I'll beat you all.
I thought I was Les Claypool in 1990, and I definitely was not Les Claypool in 1990. But yeah, no, that's kind of the fun of it. Is like, yeah, but whatever. You got to start somewhere. There aren't very many people who are like fucking amazing at 16 or 15.
No, it's true. It's true. And I know we talked about this with you guys last time you were on, but Sacha, like what bands made you decide that you wanted to play music?
Yeah, what was like the impetus?
Like it seems like there's always something, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I heard punk," and I was like, "Oh, that's easy. I can do that."
Yeah, there's probably something like that. I mean, that was the music that was definitely easiest to play, right? So.
Just some punk band or another.
And mix that with being like an angry teenager, and then there you go.
Exactly, especially in Santa Monica. I mean, the mean streets of Santa Monica.
All the sun and like the beach and everything. There's just a lot to be angry about. So
so pissed
How
off.
far did you have to walk to go on a carousel ride? 3 or 4 blocks or something? Was it pretty bad?
Oh, at the pier, you mean?
Yeah, on the pier.
Yeah, not far. A mile.
Yeah, not very.
So.
I do have to say, Santa Monica probably has one of the best farmers markets that I've ever been to.
Great farmers market. Very punk. Yeah, very punk.
Very punk farmers market.
Super punk rock.
Yeah.
Super punk rock.
I've
That
never
was
been.
another thing I was super angry about. The great farmers market.
Yeah, the great farmers market.
Fuck these tomatoes.
They're not organic enough.
All of his shopping for his restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Would always go to the Santa Monica farmers market.
I don't know, man. I was at school at a school called Occidental in Eagle Rock, and it was hard to get anywhere. I didn't even have a car at first. Once I got a car, my only experience with the beach was going in the water in Long Beach, and I think within 10 minutes feeling like physically ill, like I had been poisoned or contaminated.
Dumps?
Probably. I don't know. I was like, I don't like
Port's
this.
right there. Yeah, I don't think.
I
Yeah,
don't like this.
I've
Don't
never
go
been
in
to
that water.
beach. I've never been down to that beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this.
I should have. I worked on so part of paying for that year of college was I was an indentured servant. They pre-loaned me money that I had to work off by doing jobs for the college. And one of them was this long-term study because there's a power plant out there like dumping hot exhaust into the ocean. And so we would get water samples, and I had to count all of like the different creatures that were in the I had to put it on a slide and like count per slide how many fish embryos and whatever else, because they were tracking the long-term decline of life in the water right around Long Beach.
Yeah, it wasn't helping things. That's
No, I don't think it did. I don't think it did. Oh yeah, I had a weird experience with LA. I actually really liked it, but it took a long time to. It's such a huge. It's not a city. I mean, it's like it's a country, and just figuring out where stuff is a process when you're not familiar and you don't have a guide. You don't have someone to explain to you, like where to go to do anything. And I think within about a year, I was like, okay, I like this place. There's a lot of shit going on. Partially because my good buddy Evan was friends with No Doubt, and this was 1991, and we had a house party, and they came and like hung out and played at our house party, and I knew who they were, but it was like, whoa, this shit doesn't happen in San Jose. Like I could have 1,000 house parties in San Jose, no one of note would ever show up and play at my house party.
Gwen would never show up here?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, I guess once upon a I guess that's not exactly true. I mean, there was that time when Sleep was forming.
Yeah.
There was a kind of a cluster of people right here in San Jose that might show up, but nobody knew who they were yet. It was still too early. I don't know. We're going to have Frank Kozik on, who started Man's Ruin Records, and gave a lot of those bands their first start. And he was kind of like a father figure, and he did a lot for just helping little bands. I mean, he's the reason why I think we know about a lot of bands that would have just disappeared if he hadn't been taking his graphic design money and paying for bands to have records. But I want to hear, because I was a kid. I didn't know what was going on, but I'm curious what he thought of kind of why it happened. And here, of all places, like in San Jose. So San Jose's always been dominated since the 60s, been dominated by the tech industry. This is where they first made computers, microchips, and where they first made video games. And so that was always that's who you could run into here. You could go to the Apple store and Steve Wozniak will sit next to you and bitch about his bill, which I've seen twice in my life. In an Apple store, Steve Wozniak with his bill going like, and why did it charge me $2 then? You're like, didn't you found Apple? Like, are you really in the Apple store bitching about your bill? But apparently he does.
Wow.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, I think we went down some paths.
Did we?
We listened to a few songs. We only got through one split, but that's fine.
That's okay.
Because we also got
really
Beaver Felton.
Yeah, we got Beaver. What? Wait, what?
What?
Hold on. Never mind.
I don't know where you're.
I'm good.
He's on vacation already. He's leaving for the beach
I'm on vacation.
tomorrow morning. He's off too.
I'm going to the beach.
Yeah, I am not so much. I'm in my home alone working while everyone else in my family is having fun. I will. This is the one time I get to turn up loud. That
crank it.
That 10-watt Black Star is going to get put through some paces in my living room tomorrow.
That kill switch, probably. Got to be able to cut that sound off quick.
It's fun. Whatever.
Yeah, that's how it works, right?
I have time.
I don't even know. I don't even know what it does.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
assume it stops the sound.
Sound.
Right?
No sound.
Okay.
Sound. Yeah, no
So,
sound.
so
That's
see,
it.
that's good.
That's what it does.
Yeah. I'm making fun of something I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I'll really crank that thing up though. That's
I
a
would.
sweet little amp, and no one in my house likes me to play loud. So, and I almost never am home alone. So that's like the first thing. I'm like Tom Cruise, I'm like running around in my socks playing guitar.
Yeah, sweet.
All right,
This has been great.
yeah. Hey,
down.
so yeah, we can ask that. So it was a good experience working together, doing collaborations. Is this something that you think you would do? Maybe together again or with other people. I mean, it's for those of us out here buying instruments and kind of watching you guys develop. It was a really cool experience for me to be able to like get one of these, but also just for the community. I think it's really cool to see people working together and not undercutting and being shitty to each other, but actually like making things together. It's a good example. So I'd be curious to see if you guys felt like, yeah, this was really cool. Let's do it again or find somebody else to do it with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, for all those reasons you just said, I thought it was cool. And yeah, I mean, there's something nice about it being exclusive, but I'd be down to do it again for sure. Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just, you could like offshore it. You could just make these neck throughs. They could be, the next version of the, no?
Well, no, the next, I mean, for me, what you have to do next, what you have to do. You made 8 guitars. You need to make 2 basses.
more?
You need to make 2 basses.
2 basses.
2 bases. Exactly. 25%.
Yeah, just 2.
Jeff will take 1.
No, because they won't make a 5-string.
We'll put a kill switch in it, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Every serious musician looked at that thing and go, "Oh, that's just too easy a point of failure for me to have in a guitar that I actually have to like play on stage and rely on every night." And I was like, "Yeah, well, I don't have to do that." So I just get to go into my studio and make weird noises. So it'll work for me. But I mean, you have put them on guitar. I mean, I know Steve Brodsky has one on that white Asteroid, right?
Yeah. No, it's pretty common. Yeah, it's not like that weird.
But just that thing that you're like smashing away.
I'm
If it
just a dipshit.
if it malfunctions, then you're not making sound anymore in your guitar.
That'd be bad.
That could be a potential
Guitar
problem.
should make sound. Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to see Steve in like 2 weeks playing with Quicksand.
Oh, you're going to that, aren't you?
Fuck. I have 2 tickets.
Oh, I'm going.
Yes.
I'm going to that.
Yes.
Hell yeah!
I just can't. Oh, it's gonna be so good, man. Yes. So our last question, really quick. And I don't know if
I
mean, your answer has probably not changed. No.
Yeah,
Not
we
last question
already
yet?
asked them. No, we already
Yeah.
asked them.
So Sacha, your favorite hometown band of all time, like the band that you grew up with. You know, it could be recent. It could be, that band that was just like, oh, holy shit, this is the band that I grew up with that I just absolutely love. Who is it?
Hometown band?
Like,
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
what's hometown? When
Is
you're
there?
in
I don't
LA?
know. Is there a Santa Monica band?
Is there a Santa Monica scene?
I usually just think it's hometown is like the bands that when you would go see local bands live growing up, those bands. But I mean, it could just be anybody. It could be any LA band.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird when you're from LA. I guess there's a lot of.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, what's local? I'll tell you. You want a list of Santa Monica bands? Then you can choose one.
Really?
Number one,
Is
the
Surf Punk's one of them?
Traveling
Oh,
Wilburys,
shit.
which seems insane. Tina Marie, so that's cool. Cryptic Slaughter.
Oh, interesting.
You know who else is from Santa Monica, Venice? Technically, is Suicidal Tendencies.
Yes, they are Venice.
But I was never a fan. They actually there was like a gang, like that. I don't know how tight the affiliation was with the band, but there's like a sort of culture around the band that was not very nice to me and my friends when I was in high school. So I never liked Suicidal
Does not
Tendencies.
surprise me.
Oh,
So if there's a hometown band I don't like, we can just start right there.
ST.
oh, this is
favorite hometown band.
Least, who would you most like to talk shit on?
yeah. Who would you, oh God,
I'm not talking
I got-
shit. I don't want them to
No,
come.
I'm kidding. No.
Yeah, you don't talk shit to the band that actually has their own gang.
I mean, I love Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah.
What can I say?
I do too.
I'm a huge Insane Clown Posse fan too.
Are they from Santa Monica or from
No,
Santa
but
Although I really did like the Surf Punks. I loved that album. Yeah, my beach. Yeah, my wave. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm just looking for funny bands from
I can't-
Santa Monica, but I'm not
Oh.
getting any. Wolfgang Van Halen.
Oh.
So, Massive WVH or whatever his band is. That's probably it.
Oh, they're from Santa Monica. All right.
Rich kids live in Santa
That's
Monica.
true.
Did Eddie
I feel
Van
like
Halen
most
live
LA bands are people that moved from Indianapolis to LA.
Yeah.
You know, baby.
Yeah, I mean, like
At least
the early '90s was interesting. I liked like Thelonious Monster. I saw a bunch of times when I was, there were some bands that were like kind of regional or local to LA that never really escaped, but in LA there's enough of a market that they were like pretty famous, and they were one. And then that's Bob from the like Celebrity Rehab show. I forget what his last name is, but he's like the craggy-faced host of Celebrity Rehab. He was the front man for that band, and they kind of ran in the Fishbone, Red Hot Chili Peppers like circuit, but they didn't sound anything like those bands at all. They sounded completely different. Yeah, LA's just weird because there's always like great musicians there who come there to do stuff, and so there's always a high concentration of like badasses putting bands together.
There's some good heavy bands, but I don't know where they were from exactly. I mean, like when I was in high school, the band 16 was like
Oh, yeah.
playing a
Yeah.
bunch.
They're
They
still
were
touring.
good, but I don't know exactly where they're from. I don't know if they're technically.
They just toured with Worship, actually.
They have a JML.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, they played
Yeah.
they played Crucial Fest.
Pretty cool.
Stephen Malkmus is from Santa
And the
Monica.
Jicks. Are the Jicks all
I don't
from
even
there, too?
trust.
No.
Honestly, I don't trust this list at all. Who knows where these fucking people are from?
All
there.
right. Well,
Apollonia, that's my favorite Santa Monica bass musician.
all right.
Killer. All right, well, thanks you guys for joining us.
This has been fun.
It has been very fun, and I guess that's it. It's the end of
Yeah.
the night. Anything you want to plug? Any new stuff going on?
Any guitars left that
Any-
people could buy? And if
so-
there are, where can they go to buy them?
I'm actually gonna link those up in the description, but the ones that are left are at Coast Sonic and Northerner, right? I'm pretty sure those are the two.
If there's any left, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's one left at Northerner and maybe two left at Coast Sonic. So there's a few out there, and I flashed through the
Why do
pictures.
you know that better than they do?
Because I'm like invested in this.
Yeah, I'd say.
No, I'm seriously.
No, that's good.
It's all interesting to
a
me,
good
and
thing.
so I've been watching to see like, which ones get bought. Who's buying them? I want to see pictures of the people who bought them. It's
totally.
all fascinating.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where are they now?
And where are they now?
Where are they now?
Will any of them like get played on a big stage somewhere? They definitely should. Carl will have to play this sometimes.
Actually, we should ask you, will any of them get played on a big stage sometime? You don't have to tell us by
Well,
who.
they might not even know who bought them.
Oh, really?
No,
Did they all end up in
They all went
shops?
to
Yeah.
dealers except yours.
Oh.
Yeah, 7 of the 8 went to dealers.
Oh,
Probably all in
really?
the glass case of that guy's house. You know?
Yeah. I talked to the guy that bought the Red V.
Oh, you did?
I don't know if he's in a band or not, but yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
I love that thing. But like most of my guitar playing hours are spent sitting down, and Flying V's not really your sitting down guitar at all, unless you want to like prop it up on your leg. But that just feels silly on your
Like an
on your
asshole.
couch.
Yeah.
I feel like kind of an asshole. I
I
think.
would prop up perfectly like this. All right.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. And I'm going to put links to where the remaining guitars are in the description. And I know what all your bands, and I'll find all of that stuff. So we'll plug it all for you. But I really appreciate the time, and it was good talking to you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Smothers, not
Thanks,
mothers.
All right. Smothers, not
Yeah,
mothers. Yes, Smothers.
Idiot
Got
is
it.
the one. That's
An idiot. Yes.
Okay.
Idiot is the one that just recorded.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Have a great week, guys.
We'll catch you guys
Yeah.
later.
Later, dudes.
And
Maybe.
put it in a waiting room.
Hi. How's it going? You didn't even finish your whiskey.
It's a delicious glass
It's
of
a
it.
delicious whiskey. Now it's a delicious watered whiskey.
Yeah, I was just trying to milk it for as long as I could. That's a chill room of dudes right there.
Yeah. I just laughed a lot.
I gotta fill this space. I'll just laugh.
Gotta fill space.
It'll
I'll
be
just
fine.
laugh. I'll giggle.
It'll be fine.
Talking about the kill switch.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Making fun of it, you
I
dickhead.
don't even know what it does.
There.
I mean, I figured it just stops the noise.
Tutorial. You ready? It's tutorial time for JD. Oh shit! I was gonna ask Sacha. Tell him
Can I
I
ask him what
want.
the kill switch does?
No, I want. He put in
Oh.
Bigfoots, but I also really like the Slugwolf pickups.
I
That
don't
they
know
build.
what are Bigfoots.
This is just his brands for his pickups. Like he has about.
okay.
I think he makes 6 different pickups,
All right.
and I want a set.
He actually makes them?
Oh yeah, they hand wind them. Yeah, they
Wow.
make them themselves.
That's cool.
But I want a set of the Slugwolves, but with the same covers finished, so that I can swap them out and go big slug
Slugwolf?
wolf or Bigfoot, either way. But this is a very simple electronic layout for this guitar.
Volume.
Has a volume knob. This is a pickup selector switch.
Oh, that's not
This
your
is-
on?
That's that. That's both, and that's just that.
Oh,
And then
wow.
that makes the noise go bye-bye.
That's the kill switch.
That's
red
kill
one.
switch. And typically a guitar might have a tone knob, which like adjusts the EQ.
Yeah.
Like Beaver Felton, his was turned all the way up high, so it sounds like really bright
I
and
love
clear.
Beaver's knob.
If you turn it back the other way, it would just sound kind of like dull and muted. And then sometimes you'll have, instead of this, you'll actually have a volume knob independent for each pickup. So you can set the
Really?
the exact volume of each pickup independently. This is for the whole system. So it controls the entire volume, and then you pick which pickups.
And so those BC Riches have a volume knob for each string? Is that how that works?
They just have all kinds of select. They have a bunch of
All
like
sorts of knobs.
like a
and
little
buttons,
mini
whistles.
preamplifier. So like a
Oh,
little
preamp built into the guitar?
with the battery. Yeah, and it has like tone selections and yeah. I like fairly simple setups. At least especially for guitar.
Sweet.
My bass has a lot of switches and shit on it, but
Yeah.
that's fine. All right, everybody.
My pedal has a lot of switches on it.
Your pedal doesn't have shit on it because it's
Does
not
too.
a real pedal.
It's a real fucking pedal. It's got a skeleton on it and some knobs. It's got a couple little buttons that you can step on.
Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
And they're really steppable.
All right. Whiskey's done.
Whiskey's done.
Vacation is going to commence.
Vacation commences.
Thank everybody for joining.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll catch you next week on another episode of...
Who's coming next week?
I don't know.
Oh, Oh, is that not our Frank one?
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there when we get there. We're a couple weeks out. We're good. All right.
Send
everybody.
us your ideas.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see
Yeah,
on
there
the
you
show?
go. Guest suggestions. Tell us.
Guest suggestions.
And if there are people you know, hook us up.
Yeah, exactly. Hook
I mean,
us
we
up.
have a pretty musician-heavy listening base,
Yeah.
so there's a good chance you actually know some of the people. Oh, I was going to ask Jay if they listened to the Floor episode. I know Floor
That's right, because they know. Didn't they tour with them, or they know them from somehow?
It's just their all-time.
Somehow.
It's Jay's all-time favorite band.
Oh yeah.
Both of them like Floor a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they
Indie-
loved. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Henry's a good dude.
Henry's a great dude.
Such a good dude.
All right, everybody. Well, this was another episode of
Blind Submissions. Was that it?
And what are we? We out.
Thanks for joining us for another week of Blind Submissions. See episode description for the links to all artists discussed in this episode, and visit their sites to support them directly by buying their music and merch. Share links to the podcast with your friends, especially if they're in bands. Bands! If you want us to listen to your music on a future episode, please submit one song to blyndSub@gmail.com. That's BLYND sub@gmail.com. Bandcamp's linked preferred, but not required. Find us on our social media at Blynd Submyshynz. Full video episodes are available on our YouTube. Remember, we go in blind so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
It's Blind Submissions with Jeff and JD, Jeff and JD, JD and Jeff, JD and Jeff. Blind Submissions with Jeff and JD, Jeff and JD, JD and Jeff, JD and Jeff.